Hey guys, I believe it's very likely that the last couple of days you followed the US elections. And by thinking about this topic and seeing all of this drama unfold in the media, I was thinking about a pattern which I wanted to discuss with you. Because if we like it or not, we got to realize that most human decisions are not guided by wisdom, intelligence, or rational objective contemplation, but by social pressure. And this is especially true for the academic fields in this world, especially in the Western world. Because in the first instance you might think these people should be the least vulnerable because they actually get paid for their thinking. So they should be capable of thinking on their own. But more often than not, in these cases, in these areas, they are driven by the reputational beliefs and concerns about their status and their position. So they actually fear it the most because they could be called an outcast, be fired or kicked out because they don't subscribe to a certain narrative or agenda. And this is why they clinch to whatever is being told to them, or at least they don't question things further because they know of the consequences. We all want to feel at home and loved where we are, live and work. This fundamental need is so powerful within us that our own psyche works to protect our belief system. Our subconsciousness understands the devastating consequences of going against the grain, swimming against the stream, and not subscribing to mainstream agendas and narratives. Out of this obvious dynamic, our own psyche works to protect us automatically. And this works in a way that every information we perceive that could potentially threaten our beliefs and position and status is being disregarded and ignored. Because by actually giving the opposite perspective a chance, we would and could bring down the whole house of cards within our psyche. And our subconscious mind is totally aware of that risk and doesn't want us to go into that difficulty and find something out that would threaten all of our comfort zone. Out of this dynamic, we have to realize that in topics like politics, which are heavily linked to strong beliefs, and we see in these issues that our human ego is so deeply invested into these patterns because all of our lives we gathered information and evaluated them. And if we would be mistaken and actually the opposite position would be true or of much more value, this would undermine everything we did for years. So this is a huge threat to the value of your subconscious mind, of your actually consciousness, because your judgment was wrong, potentially. And this is also why our human psyche and our human ego has such a strong resistance and does not want to hear anything else than its own perspective. And this is especially visible in elections and politics, and why it is so impossible to convince someone about your position when they have the opposite opinion. People actually need to figure things out for themselves. But this is highly problematic in a world where our media is so polarized. Either you listen one perspective, which is black, or you listen to the other one, which is white. It has such a clear contrast that either you consume this side and you have this clear opinion because they don't give you any options. They just report the news in a way where every logical conclusion you might find is certain. It is already predetermined. And it is on the other side as well. It's the same thing. This is why this polarization is so huge in the world right now, because people don't think for themselves and don't find independent sources which actually reflect on both sides, but they just listen to the one side or the other, and then they cannot comprehend and not even fathom and understand why the other side would find the opposite conclusion. And in these conversations and discussions, you already feel and sense that the opposite side, another person, doesn't even want to change their mind. It doesn't matter what you say, even if you bring up good, valid arguments. They rather are looking for reasons why you might be wrong than to try to figure out and understand why you might make actually a valid point. And this comes back to the original point I made in the beginning of this video. It is easy and convenient to uphold your perspectives and beliefs that everyone around you holds as well. You will keep your belonging and understanding with these people. You don't risk losing their respect, attention and connection. Most likely these are the people who are closest to you, people you love and who love you, who support you and have been around you for all your life. To risk losing that seems to the human mind insane and ludicrous. Nothing could be worth losing that. Or could it? There is a saying, it is better to be hated for what you are than to be loved for what you're not. If you are brave enough to look deeper into issues despite the main narrative and obvious consequences of a certain belief, you will find unbelievable insights about pretty much anything, from politics over finances to biology. And the better you become at researching for objective sources and quality content, the greater your return on your bravery will be. Because what this life offers you is limitless, but you will not find that by following the masses. You have to start thinking for yourself. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, you can subscribe right here, and if you want to watch another one, you can click right here. I'll see you in the next one. Much love.